discussing about the types of the money. So in the part of that, in the last class, we discussed the small concept like commodity money, the money in terms of the commodity, that is the metallic money, that is the money or currency in terms of the some metal. It may be bronze metal or iron metal, whatever it may be. Today we have all coins there in the name of the metallic money. We have different type of coins, no? 5 rupee coin, a 2 rupee coin, 1 rupee coin. So all these coins will come to the metallic money only. And paper money, that is money printed with some paper. Like today we have 10 rupee note, 20 rupee note, 50, 100, 200, 500 and 2000. All this will come under the what is called paper currency. The token money, nothing but the face value is more than the internal value. The near money means it is a money. It is not a money, but it is having all the features of the money. Okay, the credit money, exactly the checks will come under the credit money. Okay, it is not a money, but we are purchasing, we have the purchasing power, and later we are paying the money. Okay, further the bank is giving some guarantee by issuing the check. So that is called credit money. So these are the concepts we discussed in the last class. So here, the most important points related to this particular aspect is the dear money. Here, dear money, nothing but the money available with high rate of interest. Money available with high rate of what is known as interest. So that is known as the dear money. Dear nothing but costly. Dear money nothing but costly money. Okay, whenever we are borrowing money from others, if the others are lending money to us with high rate of interest, that money is known as the dear money. Okay, so for example, if RBI increases if RBI what is called increases maybe bank rate and repo rate. If RBI will increase bank rate and repo rate, then automatically the commercial banks will increase the PLR. Okay, PLR will increase. That is prime lending rate will increase. So that is commercial banks are lending money to the public with a high rate of interest rate. So that's why then it will be called dear money. Okay, dear money. So that's why here, if RBI increases, that is a bank rate and repo rate, we can say that dear money is circulating in the economy, in the country. Dear money is circulating in the economy. So that is we can conclude. So here I think you got the point. Whenever RBI increases bank rate and repo rate, the banks are borrowing money from the RBI with a high rate of interest rate. Whenever the commercial banks are borrowing money from the RBI with a high rate of interest rate, automatically the banks will lend money to the people with a high rate of interest. So that will be called dear money. Okay, dear money, what we can say. So opposite of the dear money is cheap money. Okay, in case of the cheap money, the money available with a low rate of interest. Okay, low rate of interest. That is what we can say. So if the money is available with a low rate of interest, that money is known as the what is called cheap money. Cheap nothing but low cost. Okay, cheap, nothing but low cost. So that's why you're opposite. So if RBI decreases, okay, the bank rate and repo rate, then automatically what the commercial banks will do? Commercial banks will reduce, okay, reduce the PLR. Then the money available for the public with low rate of interest. That is, the banks are lending money to the people with low rate of interest. So that is called cheap money. Okay, cheap money. So your dear money and cheap money, see, they are the practically, physically, we cannot see. We cannot see all this concept and everything. But these are the things we can conclude in the name of the concept wise only. Okay, the concept wise only. That is known as the cheap money. And the another thing is known as the what is called hot money. One more, hot money. So in case of the hot money, the money is flowing from one country to another country to get more profit. Okay, more profit. That is, it is attracting. So this concept generally we will use in the stock market. Okay, stock market, this word popularly will be used. What is the concept of the hot money? The popularly will be used in the stock market. Whereas in the stock market, see, our people, the Indian people, can invest money anywhere in any stock market. We can purchase the share in any stock market in the world. It may be Bombay stock market. Okay, it may be National Stock Exchange market. It may be New York Stock Market Exchange. It may be Japan Stock Market Exchange. Whatever it may be. So we can invest or we can share the money anywhere in the world. Okay, anywhere in the world, we can see this concept here. Okay, here, suppose our people, they want to purchase 1 lakh worth of the share. Okay, 1 lakh. So one person is ready to purchase 1 lakh's worth of the share. That is investor, shareholder. How we will think? If I will purchase in which market, if I will purchase the Bombay stock market, I will get the return. If I will purchase the share in the national stock market, how much I will get the profit? And if I will purchase the share in the New York stock market, how much I will get the profit? Like that, the share of the buyer, you will try to compare that if I will invest money in the particular market, so where I will get more profit. For example, 1 lakh share is purchasing, okay, purchasing from Bombay stock market and getting profit, for example, around 10,000 rupees. Okay, 10,000 rupees. If same money, suppose, if same money invest and purchasing share from the New York stock market, okay, New York stock market, he assuming, he predicting, he is expecting that so profit may be around 20,000 rupees. Then where he will purchase the share in the Bombay stock market or New York stock market? Tell me. The investor, where he will try to purchase that share? Is in the Bombay stock market or New York stock market? Suppose you are an investor You are an investor. You have 1 lakh rupee with you. You want to purchase one particular share. Before going to purchase the share, you are comparing, you are observing the stock market, and based on your observation, you are predicting that if you will purchase share in the Bombay stock market, you are going to get 10,000 rupees profit. Instead of the purchasing share in the Bombay stock market, if you purchase the share in the New York stock market, your profit may be around 20,000 rupees. That is you predicted. Okay, based on your prediction, where you will purchase share? Is it in Bombay stock market or New York stock market?
New York, sir.
Huh?
New York.
Okay, New York. Why will purchase a share from the New York market instead of the Bombay stock market?
Because I can get more profit in compared to BSC.
Yes. So your money is attracting towards the profit. By attracting money towards the profit, the money going to the America instead of India. Okay, that is called hot money. That's why I told you, money is flowing from one country to another country to get more profit. Okay, this concept generally we will see in the stock market. So when the shareholders, by comparing their profit with their investment, so based on their expectation, they will try to investment. So if the money will flow from like that from one country to another country, so that is known as the hot money. Okay, it is attracting towards the profit. Hot money, nothing but it is attracting. It is attracting towards the profit. That is what we can understand about the hot money. So then because of this hot money, okay, because of this hot money, it may be, okay, it may be led crisis in the country. Okay, crisis in the country. Why? Because if like this, if the money attracted towards the America, our people will try to purchase the shares in the New York stock market or some other market in the world instead of India. So if our people will invest money in other market, in other country, the investment scarcity will be there in our country. Okay, the investment scarcity will start in the country. Okay, if the investment scarcity will start in the country, so then everything will come down. Like production will be decreased. Okay, production will be decreased, and if the production will decrease, employment will decrease, and all the economic activities will be decreased. Okay, if it is happen, then what we will do? So what will happen in the economy? So it will be lead for the economic crisis. So particularly where the investment scarcity is there in that country, if there is a more hot money, so in that particular country, so the economic crisis may be started. That is about the hot money. So simply you remember that it is attracting towards the profit from instead of one country to another country. Not from the Bombay stock market to New York stock market. Not from the Bombay stock market to Chennai stock market. If the money will go to the Bombay stock market to Chennai stock market, the money there within India. But the concept of hot money is a relation between two countries, not in between two states, or within the state or within the country. It is related to between two countries. Okay, that is called what is known as the hot money, what we can say. Okay, along with hot money, we can say one more is like legal tender money. Okay, legal tender money. Legal tender money, nothing but it is the money printed and circulating based on the Government Act. That is all. Okay, money, it is a printing and circulating based on the government act, based on the government act. So if it is the money printing and circulating based on the government act, that may be known as the legal tender money. Okay, which is called legal tender money. So in our country, in India, money, money printing and circulating by whom? Circulating by RBI, based on the 1934 RBI Act, which is made by Government of India. Okay, this act was made by Government of India. According 1934 RBI Act, Section 22. Okay, according 1934 RBI Act, Section 22, our government was given the power to the RBI to issue the currency and to circulate the currency. Okay, since our currency is printing and circulating by the RBI based on this government act, our money, whatever money we have, that money is called legal tender money. Okay, it is a legal tender money. Since it is a legal tender money, if anybody is not accepting in the exchange, the government can take any action on that particular person because he is violating our government act, our government rules. Okay, that is the point we can explain in case of the legal tender money. Check is maybe money, but it is not a legal tender. Checks are issued by the commercial banks. It is not based on the government act. So that's why if anybody will issue will not accept the check, that is not a government will not take any action on that particular person. But if anybody is not accepting our currency in the exchange, we can give the complaint to the government, police station, and the government will take action on that particular person because he violated government rules and regulation. Okay, that is known as the legal tender money. Dollar is a currency, but dollar is not a legal tender money in our country. Okay, if anybody will give the dollar, we may accept, we may not be accept. But rupee is a currency. It is a legal tender money in India, but the same rupee is not a legal tender money in America. So in America, our rupee may take, may accept, may not be accept, like that. Okay, in America, dollar is a legal tender money. The others may not be legal tender money. Okay, that is called legal tender money. And the one more is known as the what is called reserve money. Reserve money, nothing but it is the money under the control of RBI. Okay, it is the money under the control of RBI. Okay, I will come to about the reserve money later. Just to you remember like this here, it is the money under the control of RBI. Then later when we are discussing about M1, M2, M3, there we will discuss about this reserve money. Okay, that is the reserve money. It is directly under control of the RBI. Then one more is known as the liquidity. Liquidity. Liquidity means cash and asset. Okay, liquidity nothing but what is called cash and both asset is called liquidity. Okay, cash, if you have cash, that may be called liquidity. Asset, what the may be asset? Your check may be asset. Okay, your bond may be asset. Your share, that is security, may be asset. Promissory note may be asset. Okay, promissory note may be asset. Like that, not only promissory note, like if you have land document, That is also what is called land document is also known as the what is called your asset. And house document is also known as the what is called your asset. All these are having the liquidity, not only cash. Along with all these were known as the liquidity. So here liquidity, nothing but by definition, okay, by definition, liquidity, nothing but anything which we can convert into money that may have the liquidity. Okay, that may have the what is called liquidity. So anything which we can convert into money that may have the liquidity. For example, you have the land document with you. The land document, can you convert into monetary form or not? Tell me. If you have land document with you, can you convert this land document into monetary form or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir, we can convert.
Yes, we can convert. That's why it is having the liquidity. Okay, it is having the liquidity. Even house document, you have house document, it can be converted into money. That's why it is having the what is called liquidity. Promissory note, bond, share, check, draft, even draft also. That is a DD. So all this have the liquidity, because all this we can convert into monetary form. That's why it is called, all this will have the liquidity. So that's why liquidity, nothing but anything which we can convert into monetary form is having the liquidity. For example, if you have 20,000 rupees check with you and 10 lakhs worth of land document with you, both are having liquidity. Please understand, here both are having the liquidity. The check is having the liquidity and the land document is having the liquidity. But out of the above two, which one we can convert easily, okay, easily into money? Tell me. Both we can convert, no doubt at all. That's why here what I am saying, both are having the liquidity. Okay, we know that both are having the liquidity, no doubt at all. But here my question is, which one we can convert easily? That is my question.
Check, sir.
Is it
In case
or
of
land
check,
document?
Check.
Tell me. Check, yes. So since, okay, check, we can convert into monetary form easily. So this check is having highest liquidity than the land document. Highest liquidity than the land document. So what you understand, to tell me here? Highest liquidity means, what is the meaning of the highest liquidity? Tell me. Hello?
which can be easily converted into money.
Here both are converting into money. Land document and check, both we can convert into money, no doubt at all. But why I told you check is having the highest liquidity?
Because it is
Because
How
it
can
is
we
easy.
say that check?
Because it is easy when compared to land documents, sir.
So then how we will define the highest liquidity?
We can receive money easily.
Which can be converted into money within a short time or easily.
Yes, exactly. That is the meaning of the highest liquidity. Highest liquidity, nothing but not a more highest quantity, not a more money. It is a easily conversion. Whether we can convert into easily or not. Okay, based on here this definition, how can we say that land document when compared with check? Land document is having the lowest liquidity. Okay, lowest liquidity. Actually, land document is worth is 10 lakhs rupee. Whereas the check worth is only 20,000 rupee. But when compared with your check, the land document may be converted into money, but it will take more time. It is difficult to convert into money. So we cannot convert into short term compared with the check. So that's why, since it will take more time to convert into money, this is having the liquidity, but it is having the lowest liquidity. I think you got the point. What is the lowest liquidity and highest liquidity? It is not based on the quantity. It is based on the quality. It is based on the conversionable. Not the highest money. Highest liquidity, nothing but not highest money. Not highest quantity of money. It is highest liquidity, nothing but easily convertible into money. Lowest liquidity of money, nothing but not a lowest quantity of the money. It is a what is called it is difficult to convertible. Okay, that is the point what we can discuss when you are talking about this particular aspect. Okay, that is highest liquidity, lowest liquidity. So highest liquidity, nothing but okay, easily convertible. It is not a highest quantity of money. Please remember, it is not a highest quantity of the money. Okay, it is the easily convertible. That is the point here. During the economic crisis, people may have the asset. But if the people want to convert into cash, it is very difficult. Because during crisis, nobody will purchase our asset. That's why you may have asset, but to convert into liquidity, it is very difficult. Okay, this is, we can understand the money and what is called this one. So here, A, cash, B, check. For example, C, land document. Okay, D, okay, maybe house document. Okay, house document. Okay, like this four. We have four. A, B, C, D. Tell me, in the above, which one is having highest liquidity? Tell me, in the above, which one is having the highest liquidity?
Cash.
cash.
Cash, exactly. Because cash is there already in the form of the cash. Because I already told you cash is also liquidity. Liquidity, nothing but cash and asset both will called liquidity. Okay, cash is first place cash, we can say, and we can say second highest liquidity. Second highest liquidity may be check. The first place is cash, and second place is check in case of the liquidity. So that is based on the situation. So we can estimate, we can understand, we can explain about the concept of the liquidity. Okay, that is called what is called different types of the money. Okay, different type of the money based on the uses, based on the printing, based on the concept. So we can discuss the different types of the money. Okay, this money started in the world, not only in India, because to have some to have some functions. So these were known as the functions of the money. Okay, these functions of the money may be called primary functions and secondary functions. Primary functions nothing but a medium of exchange. Medium of exchange nothing but today, whatever the things are, whatever the goods and services we are purchasing and buying in the medium of exchange, what we are giving, generally cash we are giving. That is called money. Okay, or check we are giving, that is also money. Okay, cash or check, debit card, credit card, all this will come money, no? It may be direct money, it may be near money, whatever, but it is a money. Generally cash. Okay, when the cash was not there, the barter system was there. During the barter system, we had many problems, what we discussed earlier. So that's why to use in the medium of exchange, the cash was started. That is, the currency was started in the country, in the world. And we are, after the coming this cash or currency, for the medium of exchange, we don't have any problem. And like today, all the goods and services, we are expressing. Okay, we are expressing in terms of value. Okay, in terms of the value. For example, you have this mobile, you may have mobile or laptop or something. One can say that what is the value of this mobile? It may be 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees. Based on the worth, based on the price of this mobile, you can say that the value of this mobile. Okay, here the value nothing but a monetary value. Value nothing but a price. So all the values of the goods and services we are expressing in terms of the price. Price nothing but currency. Price nothing but money. Okay, we are expressing in terms of this cash or money only. So if we can say, okay, like to measure the value of the money, to use the medium of exchange, the money was started initially, primarily. That's why these two functions will come under the primary functions of the money. But when you come to the secondary functions, originally the money was started to perform these two functions. Okay, to perform these two, what is called functions, that is medium of exchange and measure of value. But in the course of time, along with these two functions, the money also started to do some other functions also. They were known as the secondary functions. It may not be mandatory. It may not be compulsory. In the course of time, it is they are doing additional functions. Like store of value. Store of value. Take, for example, farmer. Okay, take, for example, industrialist. Okay, maybe teacher, maybe doctor, maybe any person. They are producing goods. They are producing services. After the producing goods and services, what they are doing, all these people, For example, take for example farmer. Farmer is producing some commodity. After producing the commodity, farmer, what he is doing? Tell me.
He or she sells that.
He?
Sells that crops.
Okay, so after producing the crop by the farmer, that crop is selling in the market, earning the money, and he will try to store the money, not the crop. Please remember, nobody, not only farmer. Take for example one industrialist. One industrialist is producing some commodity like a fan. After the producing fan, he is not trying to store the fan in his in a storehouse. So he is trying to sell in the market, and after selling in the market, he will try to earn the money. That money he will try to store. For example, I am here. I am producing economics. After producing the economics, I am not trying to store my subject. Okay, I am not trying to store my subject. But after producing this subject, I am trying to earn the money. That money I am trying to, I am trying to store that money. Okay, that is what we can see in this particular cases. So like that, so the money using as a store of values. After producing goods and services by all the people, so that goods and services are selling in the market and earning the money. Money nothing but value. Okay, that money is trying to store. That is called store of value. And one more is standard for deferred payments. Deferred payments nothing but what is called future payments. Okay, future known as the future payments. So future payments. Whenever you are borrowing money from others, after some time, we are paying your borrowings in terms of the money only. Nobody will accept you give the repayment in terms of the kind or commodity. Okay? For example, you are borrowing 10 rupees from others and purchased a pen. You want the pen immediately, but to purchase the pen, you don't have the money. So you taken 10 rupees from others, from your friend, and you borrowed pen. So after borrowing this money from your friend, you are purchased the pen. With the pen, you are using for your purpose. That is, you are writing some notes. After one day, after 2 days, the no work with the pen, for example. No work with pen. Actually, this pen brought because of your friend money. So now, if you give the same pen to your friend, he will not accept. But if you will give same 10 rupees to your friend after 2 days or 3 days, he definitely will accept. So like that here, in case of the cash, in the case of the deferred payments, that is the future payments, the money is using by, so all the people, what we can say. So that's why these two are, whenever we require borrowing, then only it will be applicable, otherwise not required. The store of value is also not a mandatory. Whenever we have surplus money, then only we will have the store of value concept. If we don't have the surplus concept, we may don't have this concept of this what is called store of value. Okay, that is functions of the money. Okay, this is not that much important theoretically, just why the money was started, because of this purpose. Main function is we are using in the exchange. Second, we are using this money to measure the value of any goods and services. These are the two major important functions. Others are the voluntary. They are not mandatory. So what we can say, okay? That is the thing here. Okay, here I will try to explain one small concept when we are talking about the money. Okay, I will explain this concept. I will end the class. Gresham law. this is one important concept. In economics, it may be microeconomics or macroeconomics. Whenever we are discussing about the economics of particular topic, there one or two formulas or laws or principles or theories became very popular. For example, when we discussed about the inflation, there Phillips curve. Okay, Phillips curve is one of the most important. Whenever we are talking about the development economics, there Lorenz curve, Gini coefficient. Whenever we are talking about the public finance, there we have the one curve is there. In international economics, we have offer curve. Like in the public finance, we have one curve called Loeffler curve. Loeffler curve. I'm very sorry, it is not a Loeffler, it is a Loeffler curve. I'm very sorry. It is a Loeffler curve in a public finance, offer curve in the international economics, Lorenz curve in the development economics, Phillips curve in the macroeconomics. Like that, Graham's law also in the macroeconomics in the concept of the money. Gresham, who was the Gresham? His full name was called Sir Thomas Gresham. He was the financial advisor to Queen Elizabeth in England. In England, the Queen Elizabeth, during 1700, the Queen Elizabeth I was the queen in that country. During his period, Thomas Gresham was the financial advisor to her. Okay, during her period, he want to reform the currency. And in the part of the currency reforms, he started two type of currencies in the country. Two type of currencies were started in the country. Already one currency was there under the circulation. Along with one, she also started another currency. Okay, two type of currencies were started parallelly. But when two type of currencies were started parallelly in the country with legal tender, that is with officially based on the government act, with unlimited tender, finally, among the people, only one currency is circulating, one currency is not circulating. Here, our point is, the two type of the currencies want to circulate in the country. That is our point. Okay, but what happened though practically? Only one currency is circulating in the country and another is not circulating. Okay, that is what happened. Then, to know the reason, she was appointed one committee under the chairmanship of Thomas Gresham, who is the financial advisor of her. Okay, this is called Gresham Committee. The Gresham Committee observed why it was happened. When two currencies were in the circulation, only why one currency is the circulation, another is not there. So to find out, this committee observed, and after the observation of this committee given one statement. That statement became a popularly Gresham principle or Gresham law on his committee name. What is that committee? That statement? Okay, bad money. This is the statement. Okay, bad money drives good money out of the circulation. Okay, this is the statement given by Gresham's committee. Okay, this committee became a popularly Gresham's law. Okay, bad money drives good money out of circulation. That is the Gresham law. So here, whenever we have good money and bad money are together in the circulation, as a legal tender money, already told you, legal tender money, nothing but official money. Based on the government act, two type of the currency was circulating in the country. One is good money and another is called bad money. Okay, here, please understand that here the good money. Okay, good money, nothing but new currency. Good money, nothing but new currency. Bad bad money nothing but old currency. Old currency. Don't think that bad money nothing but illegal money. Don't think that bad money nothing but fake currency. Bad money nothing but old currency, whereas the good money nothing but new currency. Okay, suppose you have 100 rupees note. Okay, you have, take for example you itself. You have 100 rupees notes. Two you have with you. One is old 100 rupee note and another is new 100 rupee note. Okay, new 100 rupee note you have. And you have old 100 rupee note and new 100 rupee note with you. Now you went to one shop to purchase some commodity.